Hello everyone, just a quick test about the connection. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? Let's just find out about the connection. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? Let's just find out about the connection. Can you hear me well? Who's watching, well? Writing? Let's just if you can. Hi Carl. About the connection. Can you hear me well? Just to make sure that we have no problems with connection. If you can. Hi Carl. Carl, can you write? Can you hear me well? Just to make sure that we have no problems with connection. If you can. Hi Carl. Carl, can you write? Can you hear me well? Just to make sure that we have no problems with connection. If you can. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, just 5 minutes. We'll wait just to make sure that hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes. We'll wait just to make sure that hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes. We'll wait just to make sure that hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes. We'll wait just to make sure that hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Incoming chat.
Hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Incoming chat.
Hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Incoming chat.
Hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Incoming chat.
Hopefully more people will show up. And we'll rock all the lasers. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Incoming chat. Incoming chat. Incoming chat. Incoming chat. Incoming chat.
Hi team. Hello everyone.
Incoming chat.
Hi team. Hello everyone.
Incoming chat.
Yeah, people just keep writing me. Hi team. Okay. So
Hello,
you guys
everyone.
can think about questions that you might have, and
Hi team.
probably we can start.
So
with
you
a
guys
few,
can think
Q&A
about
session questions that you
started
might have in the beginning, and then I'll tell
probably,
you.
we can
some
start. So you
idea,
guys can think
Q&A
about
session questions that you
started
might have in the beginning, and then I'll tell
probably,
you.
we can
some
start. So you guys
idea,
can think
Q&A
about
session questions that you
started
might have in the beginning, and then I'll tell
probably,
you.
some
So you guys
idea,
can Q&A
about
session questions that you
started
might have in the beginning, and then I'll tell you.
So you guys
Hey guys, it's Graham. Last night on the Endurance Facebook page there was a post by Ellie Sinclair showing how the use of dry. Last night on the Endurance Facebook page there was a post by Ellie Sinclair showing how the use of dry. Last night on the Endurance
I'm
Facebook
not
page
sure
there was a
about
post
this
by Ellie Sinclair
repeating
showing how
audio look. Carl, do you have the same
Guys, it's
problem
Graham. Last night on the Endurance
I'm
Facebook
not
page
sure
there was a
about
post
this
by Ellie Sinclair
repeating
showing how
audio look? Carl, do you have the same problem?
Last night on the Endurance
I'm
Facebook
not
page,
sure
there was a
about
post
this.
by
Let me see.
showing how
Carl, do you have the
the
same
guys
problem?
last night on the Endurance
I'm
Facebook
not
page,
sure
there was a
about
post
this.
by
Let me see.
showing how
Carl, do you have the
the
same
guys
problem?
last night on the Endurance
I'm
Facebook
not
page,
sure
there was a
about
post
this.
by
Let me see.
showing how
Carl, do you have the same problem? He's not here, by the way. Let me see. Yeah, so you can hear Graham. He's not here. But anyway, if you guys have problems with audio, just text me. Probably I will need to take another microphone. But anyway, if you guys have problems with audio, just text me. Probably I will need to take
I don't see
another microphone. But anyway, if you guys have problems with audio, just text me. Probably I will need to take
I don't see
another microphone. But anyway, okay. If you guys have problems with audio, just text me. Probably I will
okay.
need to
So
take
let's start our
microphone. But anyway,
online
problems
endurance.
just text me.
Let's see.
Okay.
So let's
about
start
lasers.
our
And
online
endurance
business.
So
Endurance.
I'd like to start with a few announcements that I want to make.
So
Let's
probably
start
most
our
of you know that we run a giveaway.
and
Today is the last. So actually tomorrow is the last day when you can apply with 10 watts laser. So probably most of you know that check it out the giveaway type. And today is the last laser. So actually tomorrow is the last day when you can apply the giveaway and we'll find the link. So probably most of you know that check it out. Thursday we'll announce it. And today is the last laser. So actually tomorrow is the last day. So it's the last day giveaway and we'll find the link. So probably most of you know that we're actually preparing for Black Friday, so I'm sure that you guys will have some fun. So it's gonna be a few moments within your family. We're actually preparing for Black Friday, so I'm sure that you guys will have some fun. A few moments within your family. The last chance to Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving Day, and you'll enjoy it. And come back on Black Friday and the last chance for some special deals ready. You'll enjoy it. And tomorrow we actually plan to make a few videos. We want to make a video about some special how to make a laser box. Probably a lot of and tomorrow we actually plan laser box system, but even knowing wiring diagram to make they had laser problems with that. So this is our laser box. Our goal to make a nice wiring diagram to make and also we show how to assemble and that's our our goal to make I wrote an article about our PSS laser, so a lot of people, come and ask what is the different goal to make our laser, what is the different PSS, fiber laser, I can ask what is the regular fiber laser, our laser, what is the $4,000 fiber laser, and buy anything I can ask to the regular $2,500 in terms of what is the so that's where we find DPSS just very easy explanation. So you have a diode that actually pumps crystal. This crystal that's where resonate DPSS. Just very easy diodes pump this crystal. The power reflects from one part to another crystal. That's where resonate. Not accelerating, but very easy power because the diodes pump it excites electron power reflected from level, and then once it's enough power you have semi transparent glass mirror mirror, and after a certain level it goes down. Cold one has Q3 when the laser is actually escaping the crystal. So that's basic thing how DPSS lasers work actually. And the good thing that with 10 watt crystal laser shows how you can actually cut how 1 millimeter works actually. And the good thing that that 10 watt crystal and we plan to make some improvements. So we want to add how 1 millimeter want to add oxygen that nozzles and I believe that with oxygen we can cut even thicker and faster. Oxygen is what we need to add oxygen. However, to cut, I believe that plugs basically cut other soft material faster. Probably need CO2 gas. So I have an engineer to make to cutting metal plugs and cutting soft parts with CO2 gas. So I have CO2 gas. However, I'll make this installation in December. Cutting soft parts will show you the demo. So I have CO2 gas. Sorry guys, I'll make this installation in December. We actually have a very big and ambitious plans about software, firmware, boards, and examples of G-code. I got dozens of emails, very requests, and ambitious plans about, hey, I bought some software, that's a common question, I bought something and I need your help. We actually take emails, very buy something in a fashion, go to, hey, I bought some software, that's a common question, I bought something and I need your help. We actually take emails, very buy something in a fashion. Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound. I got something and I let me. We actually take emails, very buy something in a fashion. Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound. I got something and I let me. We actually take emails, very buy something in a fashion. Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound. I got something and I let me. We actually take emails, very buy something in a fashion. Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound.
So is it? It seems like wrong.
Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound.
So is it? Okay, I'm sorry. Need to fix audio then. Wrong.
Okay, I see that you guys have trouble with the sound.
So is it? Okay, I'm sorry. Need to fix audio then. Wrong.
Okay, I see that you guys have trouble.
So is it? Okay, I'm sorry. Need to fix audio then. Wrong.
Okay, I see that you guys have trouble.
So is it? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Is it? Is it better now? Guys, can you tell me? Okay, so yeah, let's continue then. Let me just do some final checks. I'm really sorry about that. Probably next time will be. One, two, three. So I'm taking professional microphone like a singer. So guys, please type and text. Is it better? We're good? Is everyone good? Just tell me, raise your hand and say yes, that's better. Okay. Okay, so sorry guys, was the first time I actually do live stream on YouTube since probably 3-4 years. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so let me repeat the first part then about CO2 gas while we want to do some cuttings with a laser. So I believe that having CO2 gas will make it's much better and much more efficient cutting of thicker
thicker parts of wood and plywood. Actually, I made a lot of videos, and let me put it in a chat while you're listening to me. So how you can actually do good laser cutting, and probably you'll just listen to me, and I'll put all links afterwards. So we made some experiments showing how you can cut different materials with different types of air assist and air nozzle. And also it's very important then you need to make sure the density of the material you are cutting, because if it's very high dense material, then it's very difficult to cut with a saw, with a hand saw or electric saw. The same with a laser. So it's no miracle, no quantum jump that lasers can do. That's something physically is not possible. It's pretty much the same for metal. But I'm quite happy that our DPSS laser could cut 1 millimeter of steel, and we're still exploring more options. We plan to add more power to that. Maybe we'll show you something like 15 watt, maybe 20, but not in the nearest future. It'll take probably a few, maybe half a year or something. So that is our goal. Okay, people want to see me better. You want to lower cam? Yeah, because okay, yeah, it's better. So I just started to tell a story when people ask me, they email me, hey, or do live chat requests. Hey, George, we have Chinese laser engraving machine. Can you help us? And the thing is that why should I help them? I mean, they paid eBay, they paid Amazon, they paid Chinese suppliers, and they come for help. But I'm not a greedy person, and I always try to develop community and society, and we do try to help. So my goal is to do the following thing. I want to make a very good video guidance and written tutorial where we show a board, just a board, Mana board, Alex Maker board, CNCC board, anything like open builds, ramps. Then we show and we upload a firmware that the board is tested, and then we say, hey, this is a software you can use for this board. That is quite obvious that you may run, for example, Bandbox or Laser GRBL or T2 Laser or Lightburn, so list of supported software. And the final thing, we'll make a sample, a few examples of G-code, so that people wouldn't be very much, concerned about that. They got a laser, they got the program, and they do not know how to generate the G-code. So we have quite few tutorials and online video guides, how we show how you can generate G-code using our plugin or GTAC Photonic plugin, and that should be, very, very simple for many people. So I think that definitely we'll try to make some better experience. Yeah, Carlos, you're right that you know what, it's a very, very sensitive topic, because we're struggling for customers. That's obvious. We want to make more sales, but if a person already have a laser, probably he would like to get more powerful, that his laser will burn, and the guy come to me and say, hey, I have 15 watt laser from AliExpress, and I say, wait a minute, you probably have 3 watt or maybe 5.5 watt, but it's not definitely 15. It's less. And they say, yeah, you're a liar. And guy actually accused me. He's told that I was a liar, that I was telling him wrong thing about his machine. Another thing very interesting, but then some people accused us that our lasers are false advertised, and they're also 7 watt. If you read our website carefully, it's everywhere stated that it's 10 watt is impulse mode, and I showed a detailed video how you can run our 10 watt laser even 15 watt impulse power. But I don't want to be over advertising, because I know that it's could be quite difficult to achieve. You have 8 volts and 8 amps.
that goes like 25% with a frequency of 500 hertz, and the duration impulse is 500 microseconds, so it's very short period of time. But in fact, you can see that the average power is closer to like 2. No, it's actually closer to 2.5 watt average. It means that the peak is much higher. So it's just basic math calculations, and we still have lack of equipment that we want to buy and do proper measurements, because we have also some problems and some limitations, because you need to have two equipment. One equipment is measuring continuous power, like CV, 2, 3, 5 seconds, and you measure average power. And you have another meter that measures one impulse. So one impulse could be very short period of time and very powerful. So it's completely different equipment, and we don't have it at the moment. We'll probably buy something early next year, so we'll be able to do more complicated research in future. So let me go to a few other things. I just want to tell that I have two girls helping me with marketing. They help me to actually sort my emails, to answer some requests, and you probably already know Ilya. He's our engineering guy. He's taking care of our supporting customers. For example, we have a few. One is David, Diego. We have some problems with them, and Ilya is helping me. Actually, Ilya is the guy who invented MO2 PC board, so he's part of our team. So yes, I just told you about uploading software, firmware, and writing a big guidance and tutorial about different programs for different boards and different G-code examples. So next thing I want to tell you that we plan to make another laser lens systems. We already made tests and show that the smallest spot we got is 30 microns, so it's very tiny tiny spot, the tiny focus. The focus laser beam spot. The problem is that focal depth, so when you're in focus and when you're out, is very small, probably less than 1 millimeter. So it's very if you're in focus, then you're completely then you have a big problems, because then you cannot engrave or cut. So we're working on that problem at the moment. Dual lasers. I'm thinking about making dual laser, combining DPSS laser and our diode laser. Why do I want to do this? Because DPSS is high impulse laser that generates a lot of power in peak. So it goes like this, and an average at 10 watt, but in peak it's almost 60 kilowatts of power. So for cutting metal, you need actually two things. You need average power that keeps your metal quite hot, and you need a peak power that actually burns ions or molecules or atoms away, and it actually destroys, and that's where you get your cut. And I assume that with this option, it will be much easier for metal cutting. We just want to test it. No one tried to combine two beams with different wavelengths. So 445 nanometers is for blue lasers and 1064 for DPSS infrared lasers. So that is another experiment. Another thing that we have been working on heavily for last 4 months, actually 5 months, is making quadro laser. So our 20 watt laser is dual laser that is combined in one direction. It's good laser for engraving, and we're doing pretty well selling those units. And for example, Marcus from Germany, he actually used it for dual cutting, so they were like independent. But normally you can align two beams together and then do laser cutting laser engraving. But quadro, it will be very low angle, small angle, so they will be almost aligned very close to each other. So I believe that cutting would be also be possible with that unit. We have some problems with aligning those beams and removing heat because it generates a lot of heat and we need to remove it. So we'll probably use tech Peltier as well, but also it requires a lot of metallic parts. It will be quite heavy. So we're still solving this problem, but I hope that sometime in December we'll be able to present it for you. What else? What else? What else? CO2 laser. As you know, we already built a prototype of CO2 laser. So my goal, it will be a very important announcement. Are you ready, everyone? Everyone is ready? Okay. So I want to build a CO2 laser kit so that anyone can attach his CO2 tube to CNC machine. We already made this prototype, and it will be not very easy to install and plug and play, but for Alex Maker machines, for bigger like open builds like Shapeoko, Xcarve, Shark, etc., will show a special mechanism where you have a CO2 tube and you have two mirrors that will allow you the laser beam go exactly to a place of laser cutting. The big concern that is actually quite difficult, and I don't know how to solve it following FDA rules and regulations, is safetiness, because you have two mirrors and you have to make sure that those mirrors are installed carefully and all system is aligned perfectly. Because if, for example, someone's going and for example you have your head or your hand between, it could be very dangerous. So I want to make sure that we'll have absolutely no health matters. That's why I do believe that this construction would require something like special protective shield, like maybe acrylic or something like that. So it's very important. But I do believe that we'll offer 40, 80, 150 and 300 watt CO2 tubes with all accessories you need to install and to operate your machine. It could be a problem in terms of focusing and power supply. You also need a chiller, but I speak with my supplier and we're doing pretty well in terms of making full components list for these items. So I do believe that we'll be able to present it sometime in December after hot period of time. Another thing, we are my webmaster, my beloved webmaster from Ukraine came back to me. He was not working for us almost for 1.5 years. Now he's back and he's helping us to improve our website endurancelasers.com, and we also updated endurance-lasers.com, which is our online store. So the idea that I want endurancelasers.com to be like very much informative website with probably few pop-ups, and yeah, I know you hate pop-ups. That's life, because if I decrease amount of pop-ups, I have less leads. If I have less leads, I have less sales. I have less sales, I earn less money. I have the same bills, and I cannot make more products and more research. So that's very much connected. But I try to find a good balance in terms of pop-ups, chat, etc. But I want to do all sales on endurance-lasers.com. So this is my initial goal, and I hope that that will be our key thing in terms of marketing. We have endurancelasers.com is more for information, and endurance-lasers.com. Also, we plan to add interesting function like no ads, because I know that a lot of people are really upset and pissed off with pop-ups, but for our customers who once bought something or probably made a post in social media, we'll remove all ads, all banners, everything, so nothing will be displayed. Will be clean and neat website. And if you're not a customer, I'm sorry, you would have to watch our advertising. So it's nothing personal, just business. You may hate me, but if you have some better ideas, you're welcome. Okay, I told about my website. Another thing I have dreams about is making laser welding and laser soldering. The problem is that to do accurate laser soldering and laser welding, it's not the same process as when you do cutting or engraving. You need to melt both materials, and that one material goes inside inside the another one, and that's a problem. I don't know how to do this. I've read that probably you need some active not active gases like argon or something like that. We also need to try that, but argon is very expensive. We need to find something, because I do think that laser welding and laser soldering could be a good case for many businesses when you need very accurate welding. I know that you watched my video about rust removal. It was kind of fun because I want to do it in my car actually, to remove, but and then see the result. You know that I removed wart on my finger with my laser, so that's the way I'm working. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I have an R&D project with Russian medical institution, and we are yeah, probably I need to move it like this. We plan to do some medical experiments in terms of medical treatment, where lasers can be used for medical skin curement, like wart removal and something like that. We already started this R&D. It's not very easy because it's so many regulations. I don't know, guys, about UK, Europe, and America specifically, but here in Russia it's complete disaster. It's one of the most corrupted fields I have ever seen. I mean, medical institutions and how medical things are being done. So I'm really upset about it. But I found a few people that are very much interested in this and will do something. Okay, that's part of what I wanted to tell. Impulse laser. I've told you before that we made an impulse laser, made impulse experiments when we run our 10 watt in impulse mode, and we got up to 15 watt. We want to make a special impulse box. We'll call it an independent impulse box, where you have tuned DC-DC. It'll be just another box. So if you want to run laser in impulse mode, you just need to use this box. And probably I would like one of you, we have 12 watchers, find who would like to be a tester. Carl, I assume you are like to be our tester. I'm not sure if you have much time for this, but you're welcome. Or if anyone would like to be a tester of our impulse box, let me know. I will be happy to send you, and so you can make some experiments with that. Okay, another thing that concerns me, that some people have problems with focusing and setting up the laser, finding a home on the 3D printer or CNC machine. That's a good that's actually a problem, because once for 3D printer or CNC, you know, the home is where the spindle or extruder is being located. But the laser, if you installed it somewhere to right or left, it's a problem. We want to solve this case as well and offer a solution. Well, we're working on that. Photodiode measurement. You know, I told that for measuring power and impulses, you need special devices. We want to make that our own device to measure impulse power and the whole CV power. So that's our plan to make. It's not very much complicated, but I think we'll be able to show something. Okay, what else? I spoke about multi-laser, about combining two beams together, CO2, new air nozzle. You probably, guys, I'm not sure that if you watched my previous last video showing how we cut 6.2 millimeter plywood with like maybe 5, maybe 7 passes, and it was very high dense plywood. We used our new air nozzle. So the basic principle that the nozzle is installed like this, and the air goes to cutting place under angle. So I think that the air can go exactly as where laser is going. So from up down, just the same direction as the laser beam goes. That brings me to the idea that then you will have very clean and accurate cutting. So we call it our new air nozzle. I think that all pro lasers will be equipped with this new air nozzle. Coupler. I also plan to make a new coupler for CO2 laser, but so that anyone, I told you that we have plans how you can use a CO2 tube and install it to your CNC machine, but I also have a vision that CO2 power can be brought to 3D printer, but with the fibers, with the pure fibers, and I made research about that, and I showed how you can do this. It'll be not so difficult, but will require some time to present. What do I have next? Plugin. We have two plugins that allows to generate G-code and make possible laser cutting and laser engraving, just generating G-code from Inkscape. I asked you guys on Facebook in our community, but you didn't support me. So, but I still want to do this. I want to have online cloud service that allows you to generate nice and accurate G-code. The idea is very simple. You get an image, for example, 100 on 100 pixels, and you want an engraving, a perfect G-code. So you set up like 5-10 parameters. You run a button, generate G-code, and then you have a G-code that you can run on your machine. I just feel I'm talking from my own perspective, because right now I don't use Tito Laser or Lightburn because they are paid solutions, and if we want to make it like more open for community, then we need to offer something. With generating G-code using Inkscape takes a lot of time, and still it's not as easy as I want it to be. I just want to upload an image, give a size, probably like maybe 5-10 parameters, and run G-code, run generation G-code, and then run it on very easy GRBL software. You know, I want to try it. I do believe that this solution can be useful for at least beginners and people who just want to get their G-code instantaneously. So that's my vision. A few more things I want to tell about my research and development. I want to explore some ways of chemical reactions with a laser in liquid in liquid chemicals. For example, we have something inside of water, like maybe one metal kind of metal, and then the laser shoots through water to that metal. So I believe that that can stimulate some chemical reactions. It's kind of interesting to explore because for our wavelengths, 445 nanometers, water will not consume any power, so it'll go straight through water. So it would be interesting to try that. I also plan to write more, to make more research and development about reflection and consumption of different waves, different materials. So that's my my plan. I also want to write a few articles, detailed articles about diodes, CO2, fibers, fiber, just comparing one with the other. By the way, I made this post. You can find it on Endurance Lasers website. And if you scroll down in a blog, or you just go to a blog, Endurance Lasers News and Updates, and you'll find the post about comparison of different types of lasers. Here I compare different wavelengths, and I compare CO2 and diode lasers. So you guys can check it out, and you're also welcome to rate it if you like this article. Okay, what do we have next? What do we have next? Yeah, probably I would want to have a few questions and answers, but let me tell you about my dream, my laser dream. I am thinking about quantum light stopping. The idea is that light speed is constant in vacuum, and in different crystals it decreases, but not significantly, maybe 2, 3, 4 times, but not like 10, 100,000 times. So it's still quite big. There is there is a theory that theoretically the speed can be decreased in some special quantum effects. For example, you can check out Bose-Einstein condensate. They decrease the speed dramatically. However, it's a big question how they made this experiment, but the idea that in low temperature, it's almost 0 Kelvin, it's 10 minus 9 square, it's 10 square in minus 9. It's almost 0 Kelvin. It's almost zero temperature. And they said that light speed decreased almost to 0. That's very interesting because in this low temperature, that could be, but the question is, can you make it this effect when the temperature is as cold as liquid hydrogen? Even liquid helium is also doable. It's like 4 kelvins. It's quite difficult to get liquid helium. It's very expensive, but liquid nitrogen it's not as expensive, and we're planning to make such experiments with different crystals. In next week I'm going to Institute of Crystallography in Moscow, just have a few meetings there. Just check it out if it's possible. And the final thing that where I'm dreaming about is quantum and laser energy transmission. So the thing is that you cannot transmit energy with CO2 laser or DPSS, which is 1000 nanometer wavelengths, or with our 445, the divergence. So we have a quite big divergence of the laser beam, and also that the consumption of atmosphere of these wavelengths is quite significant. So for example, if you try to transmit for 1 kilometer, 1 mile, you'll probably lose 90 or maybe 80% or maybe 95% of power. So that's a big problem. And I do believe that for smaller wavelengths, something like 200 nanometers, maybe even 100 nanometer, you won't face that problem. It'll be like ultraviolet wavelength or even X-ray laser. So we have some thoughts about that. I'm just talking to different groups with different institutions and different researchers, trying to find out how we can closer to that, because there are so many problems, in terms of lasers when you do such research things, trying to get something out of it, because the basic problem, the basic thing, that once you send this short wave, you need to have some mechanism that will be able to absorb it. So you need to have such crystals that double frequency, that shortens wavelength, and on the other part you have another crystal that decreases frequency and increases wavelength, so that you'll be able to deal with that. And not so many white papers and research have been made, but we're looking for researchers, and we hope that we'll succeed with that. So that was actually what I want to tell you, and let me check what you guys wrote in chat, so I'm ready to answer your questions. Marcello, if you wanna try impulse mode, just let me know. Yeah, in impulse you just increase voltage, you increase current, and you're doing fine. But it's a big question for how long the diode will work. So that's the key thing. Carl says about light burn, impulse mode, Doc Marcello. Yeah, Michael Bondi, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. Okay. Assemble laser kits. Yeah, Tim Belt is writing that he's having some problems with assembling. So I think I described quite well in different details how you can attach any laser to any 3D printer, and it's so many examples showing wiring diagram, hooking mechanisms, like we're sending basic laser mounts, advanced laser mounts if you order it, or there are so many things open source on Thingiverse. And also we describe how you can make your own laser kit. So you just go to Google and type Endurance Lasers laser kit, and you see full guidance, full tutorials, absolutely free of charge, with full components list how you can build your own laser, and you don't need even to buy parts from Endurance. The problem is that components, if you do not know good suppliers and do not have a pretty decent knowledge of how to set up, tune, test, its probability of failure is like 90%. It's not because we're hiding something, it's like a question of competences, because we understand, we already have it in our workshop, our dirty workshop, the way we cleaned up a little bit, and we do clean up before making videos, but still it's it's in general, we understand how make these things, how test them, and we already have feeling that, for example, this DC is not good, and listen very carefully, we throw away 7, 8, sometimes 9 DC out of 10 because they are not good for lasers, they have some problems, they are not, so we just throw them, and that's where these costs increase. So there's a problem. Okay. Yeah, Anthony, thank you for inspiring us about CO2 kit. That's I hope that you guys will like it and appreciate it. Yeah, CO2, it will be like a kit that you can install on your 3D printer, not 3D printer, but CNC machine. But let us just make sure that no one's get burned, or this installation will not harm your health. Okay, I think yeah, Michael was saying that was terrible and say, hey George, you failed because bad connection. Okay, now seems better. Okay, do you have any my questions? Yeah, okay. Michael will send you. I'll send you special deals for those boxes. Will be probably like costs, only costs nothing, and probably will be 3D printed boxes. Will be like maybe 20, maybe $30 for you to test. But we need to make sure that what happens if you burn the diode, because we still are not very much concerned. I mean, no one did that before, right? No one ran Nichia diodes, laser diodes with 8 volts and 8 amps. It's 64 watts of power, so no one did that. But check it out, Endurance Impulse mode in Google, and you'll see our live experiment. Tim Belt is saying about Rectric Aspire. Yeah, we also have pretty much well description of how you can use endurance lasers with Match 3 and Aspire. You know, guys, I'm not a very big CNC guy. I run personally on a 3D printer, one how duplicator, and Alex Maker machine. So that's 3 machines, and I have maybe 20 different boards. And for those boards, we plan, like I said, to make a full guidance and tutorials how you can use them for running the laser. So that's that. I'm not sure that plugin is needed once we already have it, and it generates G code. But let us just play a little bit. But Tim, you can talk to Graham Hom. He's our CNC guy on Facebook. He's very, very supportive, and he usually answers questions quite positively. So I'm not sure that if you guys have any more questions in chat. So you're welcome. You're welcome to ask them again if you have anything. Nothing? Okay, then I think we can close our session. I want to thank everyone who joined this talk, and I'm not sure that I'll do something this year. Probably early next year or something, but I'm always online on online chat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I actually recovered it, so I do more Instagram, and yeah, team. Yeah, we'll support. I mean, we try to support our customers as much as we can, and we send a lot of free stuff, free upgrades for people. And if someone isn't happy, for example, I got a message from a woman from Canada, Nicole. She said she bought a laser 1 year ago and she didn't use it. So we don't want to earn money on product that is not used, or somehow it's on your shelf, and we just want to make sure that you use it. 8.5 watt laser. Yeah, I think Marcello is absolutely right that you can run on any diode impulse mode. The question is if it's enough heat, if the heat sink is good enough, and yeah, then you just cut wires from the laser diode and connect to a board. I'll show you how you can do this. Can you talk a little bit about your laser cancer cell? Okay, so we have actually 4 laser lens, and you can also Google Endurance laser lens pack, or on our online store, endurance-lasers.com. The thing is that there are 4 types of different lens. One is regular 3-element lens. G2 lens gets very small and tiny spot for laser cutting and laser engraving. And G7 and G8 lens, they are more like, I'm not sure, fancy, how do you call them? We didn't test them a lot, but different people requires different range, focal range, and they like to play. It says I can do better with this lens. I want to install this. It's like an accessory. It's like for your camera, right? You can have one for portrait, one for outside, and it's kind of different. But our own lens we're still developing, because the problem is we reduced the size of a laser beam to a very tiny spot, but the problem is that it has to be aligned on a specific position with a special tilt on a special range from the diode, and we just don't know how to make it easy to send and install, because that requires pretty complicated handwork. I mean, we can do it in our workshop, but I don't know how to sell our own laser kit for decreasing laser beam spot to customers, because that can be a pain ass. As you guys know, we try to sell and bring on the market that is easy to make and easy to deal with. I don't want to be a pain ass, and I don't want you to be frustrated. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, we'll go and drink some beer tonight and need some rest before Black Friday. I welcome you to come and see our special deals. And once again, warm greetings from cold Russia to all over continents: Australia, UK, South Africa, America, Canada, where you guys from. And have wonderful Thanksgiving Day. Be with your family and enjoy this week. Thank you, and bye bye.